The song says it all, guys. We are back with our last best of 3 of the day. We have to the bottom left of the map in this best of 3 the Slayer's Zerg player. This is YugiOh. I love this guy.
Me too.
What is up with the paper and his keyboard? I know there was an old Warcraft 3 trick that he used in order to show the health bars continuously, but there's actually an option for that in StarCraft 2. Someone should tell him. At the top right, we have his opponent. This is Zenex Harrier.
Now, if you hold down the Alt key constantly, though, in StarCraft, if you click on your minimap it's not going to go there. It's just going to make a bunch of pinging noises. So.
Yeah, but he didn't do that in Warcraft. You had you had the 2 keys right to the left of backspace that you had to press down to see not only your hit points of your units, but those of your opponent. And you would use a coin or a paper, just tuck them in there to keep those pressed for the entire time. And this is a little bit of how it looked like for him.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. If I ever get another shot of him, I'll try to see if I can figure that out. I just realized, since we don't have a Korean broadcast of this, if anything ever happens on the minimap that isn't seen, I can ping it, and no one's going to get mad or confused. The observer will just be like, what? And then go there, and I'll be like, yeah, I can do that, man. Like, I have the power to ping the minimap.
I've got the power.
Yeah, man. I just start, like, singing. I just, like, start pinging. I'm like, ping, 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 ping.
Wolf is writing his own StarCraft 2 song. Cute. Well, in this first CBT that we see today, we have the normal opening for Harrier is going into 1 barracks expand, while YugiOh is actually, I was about to say, starting with the standard build as well, and then I realized, wait a second, we are casting YugiOh, and yes, indeed, he's starting with the pool here first. Look at that.
Yeah.
Something that is weird, because the thing is, why starting with the early pool? You have the queen a little bit earlier, so you can start with the transfusing earlier. You have also your Zerglings out a bit faster. At the same time, though, your expansion will be a little bit delayed, and there is normally no reason why you would start with a late expansion against a Terran player. And he has already scouts out on the map. He neglects the drone scout, but his overlords are in positions. So, I mean, if this wasn't YugiOh, I would be like, okay, this is so weird because why do it? But YugiOh loves to do weird stuff, and
yeah, he's a weird guy.
He has his builds timed out well, so this is a purpose. There's a reason why he's going to do this. It's not like he's scared or whatever, but he definitely has a build in mind that he tries to use against Harrier, where he's comfortable with, where he's going to hit some kind of timing. It's not only because he's afraid of some kind of double barracks play. That's definitely not the case here. He already starts with his gas now, so this is definitely a build that he executed in the past, that he wants to use here. It's Yu-Gi-Oh style.
Yeah. By the way, we got some insight earlier that Harrier was a former B-teamer on Slayers, stayed at the house during like Slayers' trial period when they first had their clan, and of course, it being told as it seemed, it was implied that he didn't make the cut, I guess, like in a way, but I mean, or either that or he just didn't agree with the way things, the way Slayers are doing things, but they know each other, and they played with each other in the past, and he's on Zenex now, and I think that Harrier is actually really good. We saw him play in the Team League, and we saw him qualify for Code A. Looked really good in his matches, so I'm looking forward to seeing more games from this guy.
He is up against the king of Code A. The odds are really against him. YugiOh has been in how many seasons now?
10 in a row, I heard.
10 in a row, exactly. So, is there a chance that YugiOh is really dropping out of Code A?
Probably not. Well, the thing is, if he drops out and then just requalifies next season, he's still consistently in Code A another season in a row. But I mean, it goes against the pattern here.
The laws of nature.
Yeah, it's strange.
We have the starport transition immediately for Harrier. He really makes this. He loves this style. This is what we see in Korea even more often now. The transition from double reactor. No, sorry, for reactor factory Hellions with a double Hellions into starport with sometimes without cloak. And well, right now the third base.
That Overlord's in a rock.
I didn't even see it. This is. Oh look! He's completely.
Oh my
hidden.
God! That's the Overlord.
It's a ghost.
Overlord ghost, man.
Someone call the Ghostbusters. Seriously, we have a problem.
Yeah, I think so. It's actually like a there's like a sentry over there that made
if
that
something
Overlord hallucination.
strange in the neighborhood.
Yeah, man.
That definitely is something strange going on here. Call him right now.
Yeah, call him right now, man. He needs a Raven or something to help deal with that Overlord. I don't know. Can't be seen. Okay, he sees it. Ghostbuster Marines taking him out without vacuums.
Yeah, that is really, really weird. That's normal machine guns. They don't hit a ghost. Well,
I guess Casper's out of luck here. Third base going up for the Zerg as his lair is started. YugiOh has no answer for these Hellions. He only has the Spine, and look at how many drones he's already lost here. Wow.
yeah, he lost a fair amount, 6 in total, but he takes down every single of these Hellions, so in the end, this does not end too bad for him. Killing 4 Hellions for 6 drones, that's okay. That's actually something I can live with.
Got 2 more there in the end.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
The last attack got
8
2.
against 4, so we are on even count in regards to minerals lost, but of course the mining time and the lava is something that you have to account for as well.
Yeah, and if people are really trying to figure out how to make Hellions work still in this matchup because the Queen change makes it a little more difficult, I found that the biggest change we've seen since the Queen patch in Korea is that sometimes people just seemingly randomly attack with Hellions and hope that they get drone kills. Cloak is going to be a big problem here as the Evolution Chambers are only just now being started. The lair isn't done yet either, so he has to pull his drones. He's pulling them over to his third base, so he's not going to lose as much mine time as he would have otherwise. But he doesn't have a surplus of queens either. I mean, he's got 4, but this could be really bad.
It is already bad. It's really, really bad. He's losing so much. The Banshee's in the main base right now, killing drone after drone, and Harrier is really making this work. And I have to say that YugiOh right now is not really impressing me too much. This is a guy that I love to watch. I watch his first-person live stream as well, but now we suddenly have him with an opening.
Oh my god.
That is really weird. And Harrier is pressuring.
Oh, that could have been so bad.
But
it was already pretty bad, but it could have been so bad.
this should not be that effective.
No.
15 kills on one of the Banshees,
30.
29 workers killed. This build is nothing too special that Harrier uses right now. It's something that YugiOh had to encounter countless times already. Of course, it's a nice pressure play, and I like how Harrier executes it. I really love that he plays this style, and it is supposed to do damage, but not this much.
Look at the production tab. I mean, it shows like everything that Harrier is doing and how desperate YugiOh is right now. He's only making 2 drones and 6 lings. His worker count down to 64. That means it would have been at about 90. What does that mean? It means that he has no army whatsoever. He's been making only drones. He's now desperately getting some zerglings out. He's got a total of 12 popping out. But his opponent has right now already 6 Marines. He's got 1 Banshee. He did lose one of them, 2 medevacs, but his production is insane. And he's got tanks coming out. He's got siege mode on the way. Our Zerg player is going to be very vulnerable to Harrier's first pressure, his first attack. I'm not even sure why Harrier's making a bunker right now because that's something he clearly does not need.
At first, when we saw the opening, I really thought that YugiOh was trying to go for a timing here because he loves to play unusual builds, but he apparently was just a little bit afraid that Harrier might hit him with some early attacks. There might be some mind games going on here as well, that he played against Harrier in the past, and Harrier tried to double barracks him quite often. There was no scouting, so YugiOh tried to play with a safer opening, but he wasn't really able to make sure that his mineral lines were safe. All those drones that were killed in the early stages were just way too much. The 8 drones against the Hellions, that's still alright, but then the Banshee follow-up, that's something that hit him completely blindsided him.
Yeah, the armory timing here is slightly off, but he's ahead in upgrades, and he will continue to be ahead in upgrades as soon as the armory is done. He starts his 2-2 right away.
20 supply ahead.
Yeah, I mean the effects of his attack are really being felt. I mean, the Mutalisks are on the way, 8 of them, and if he doesn't do damage with these, it's going to basically be lights out pretty soon afterwards because he's committed so much gas already. He's got Baneling speed finishing up here as well, 11 active tumors at a time, so he is really making sure his creep is spread correctly. Some Hellions look like they're going to come in from the left side. Actually, no, that's a Marine drop, and he's scanning and killing a ton of tumors right now on the left side, and he can actually pick up and save these if he wants. Nicely done.
Where are the Mutalisks, though? They seem to aim for the natural right now.
And he does take out a Hellion on the right side of the map at the 4th base. The Zerg will likely take later. He already drops his units out of the medevac because he knows that there's no way he's going to be able to save them against the mutas. Whoop. He may get 1 muta if he targets.
Yes, he does. Takes on one of the Mutalisks. But YugiOh kind of showed his cards here, so we already have the missile turrets being built for Harrier.
And how many trap cards did he have in his hand? That's the question, man.
I never played the game. I'm sorry. I don't know how it works.
Well, this early run by could do a little bit of damage, but he's just shut down. Totally. In fact, I don't even think he killed a single worker with that. He forced one SCV off the line, it looks like. He's killed 2 workers in total this entire game.
Against 37. 2 worker kills against 37. Usually it's the other way around. And the Terran has to make up for it with mules. But, well, sensor turret's now being built. Harrier is aware that he is ahead, and he just makes sure that there is nothing that YugiOh can do right now in order to change this. He wants to be safe against everything and anything that YugiOh can throw against him. So there won't be any mutalisk attacks that Harrier is not aware of.
He's scanning, using a scanner just to be safe. I like that he's doing this because he knows the one way he could potentially lose a game is if he runs Marines into Banelings. I've lost a few games that way myself, and it can be very frustrating.
YugiOh doesn't stop with the creep tumors, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
His creep spread is, well, this is off the charts.
It is off the charts, man. It's like, it's over 11 tumors being made at once.
I really thought about what would be one of the most imbalanced things that he could implement with Heart of the Swarm for Zerg. What do you think about the thought that creep tumors could actually explode?
Wow, that's like insane, man.
That is the most ridiculous thing that I could come up with.
They explode like spider mines. They actually go and like run forward and explode like spider mines. You have that many on the map. That would be insane.
You trade creep for the ability to attack your opponent's units.
Changelings have combat shields if you have combat shields. I like that. I never noticed that before. Well, I guess I did. I just never thought about it. But I like this aggressive move out with these Marines. He can scan and kill tumors, and if he runs back to the tanks, he's totally safe.
Oh, there's a drop in the main base at the bottom left, though, and this drop is doing some damage here. Harrier is really... He's pressuring YugiOh so hard, and I have to say that I'm a little bit... I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed in YugiOh here. I expected a lot more. I don't want to be a fanboy here, but I really thought that he would look a lot better. Harrier makes this happen, though. This is the reason why YugiOh is struggling. It's not because... It's just because Harrier is playing this really well. His timing so far was spot on, and his transition into the Banshees earlier, that was what basically forced the situation to evolve in the first place.
Oh, a lot of hesitation here from YugiOh. He's not going to save the hatch, and he lost several units as well. I mean, you're right. He took an early lead, and he didn't make any mistakes after that. And so, I mean, of course it's going to be hard for YugiOh. He's going to come down here and target this hatch. Nice defense by YugiOh, though, does manage to keep it alive. He's going to lose a bunch of Marines here. Harrier will, in fact.
I also love how Harrier is using the scans to force the creep back, because YugiOh is crazy in regarding his creep spread. We've seen this over and over again. And there are a lot of Terran players who will not invest the scans anymore because they feel they are not worth it, using too many scans against a Zerg player that is spreading creep like this. And Harrier is he's not stopping. He's always setting up nice positions. He's spreading his units, spreading his Marines, and spreading his tanks as well. Just killing every single creep tumor there is, forcing this back. There's a run by YugiOh, but is this really going to damage too much? There's one siege tank and a bunker.
If he commits, he could get through, but it wouldn't be very cost efficient.
Yeah, he would lose too much.
By the way, we already have Vikings coming out for a potential Broodlord transition.
And Thors.
Yeah. And he's going to take out that orbital. That's pretty useful. If YugiOh can secure one of these bases and hold on to it for a minute, while he takes, while he continues to harass these mutas and keep his opponent back, yeah, he can maybe come back, but not if he does this. Oh my God!
Too short.
Oh, that was actually that was like the scene where Anakin kills the younglings, man, and at Star Wars Episode 3, it just felt wrong to watch.
I have no words for this. He did not see that coming. He did not pay attention to his mutalisks at all. There's no way he would willingly engage into such a battle.
This is desperate for YugiOh. He's got to find a way to engage this perfectly, but Harrier, he's already got +3 weapons. Half of his armor is done.
I was just about to say that YugiOh is doing really his best to get back into this game after that early that Harrier took, and he indeed does, but it's all those small mistakes that he makes that are definitely going to prove to be a problem. YugiOh is trying to rely on his macro game, though. He tries to make his mechanics work for him, and with all the upgrades that he gets, already the +2 armor upgrade for his mutalisk, he's not out of it just yet, but he's definitely behind.
And his creep spread has been insane. He still has not stopped. Look at the left side of the map. He's always got that queen just out there. Harrier with the Ghost Academy here as well. I don't think we're going to see nukes, but he may add some ghosts in.
Look at the Mutalisk. He loses every single one of them.
And that's going to help free up supply, but there are better ways for that.
Exactly. He could at least try to harass the mineral line. Now all those Zerglings run in. They have most of the upgrades. +3 is not done though yet. He could have waited another 5 seconds and he would have been ready with the upgrades as well. But Harrier is dropping in supply. Is he able to make this work? It doesn't look like it. YugiOh suddenly trading a lot more cost efficient than he did before.
Yeah, he takes a supply lead.
Takes a small supply lead here indeed, and still those 3 bases for Harrier look really strong. YugiOh with a 4th now.
Yeah, and
17 workers as we speak.
He made a ton of Vikings, and he landed them and used them in that fight, and they just were not useful. Now he's really powering back out the Marines. But you're right, that was an extremely cost-efficient engagement. Before that engagement, it was like 2.5 difference in resources lost, like 2.5 thousand more minerals, but now it's less than 1,000 in difference.
And that's what I talked about. YugiOh is doing everything that he can in order to make this disadvantage that he had early disappear, and I think he was able to pull it off. The planetary fortress that's being set up might prove to be a problem for him, though. Playing on 4 bases against 4 is not the best thing that you can do as a Zerg player, even though YugiOh is setting up another one. And once again, he does not stop with his creep spread. This is so impressive as we are 23 minutes in the game, and there are not a lot of Zerg players that will really rebuild creep tumors at that point in time. The transition into Broodlords is now happening, but already, Vikings on the map, and nice. Oh, wow. He kills every single SCV down.
He tried to pull back, but it was too late. He got trapped, and more SCVs are dying. The Vikings will die as well. That was an insane grab there by YugiOh.
He killed nearly 11 workers with this. He killed like, I think 9.
In total, it's looking like he killed about 20 units, so maybe he got even more than that. Well, 11 workers in total killed now. That means 9, and either way, that was a really sick drop, but this is going to be quite easily cleaned up as well. Harrier is starting to look like he's in a little bit of trouble.
I think the one, I mentioned it earlier, YugiOh tries to rely on his macro game, on his mechanics, and I feel that in this regard he might be the better player here. The opening for Harrier gave him an advantage, but now he seems to struggle a little bit against YugiOh's multitasking. And YugiOh, with his creep spread, is always aware of exactly where his opponent is. Those creep tumors give him an insane amount of vision on the map. And as we said earlier, he simply does not stop to build them. He tries to take every single position in the game, he tries to be everywhere at once, and this is putting YugiOh not only back into the picture, but now into a comfortable lead with the bank that he built up.
Yeah, and he is continuing the creep. I mean, he's actually spreading it now behind this mineral line. And he's got Banelings set up all over the map. The creep continues on the right. Broodlords are on the way. He's going for them, interestingly enough, despite seeing the Vikings, but he's killed several Vikings.
I don't think he knows how many Vikings there are already. I don't think that's information that he has. He didn't see that. But I feel that if he knew, he would probably go a little bit easier on the Broodlords and try and transition into Ultralists, because it would be just that supply. But as it is, he can still make it work. With 13 Infestors on the map, there's certainly a possibility for him to fungal his opponent's Vikings and take the advantage here.
Yeah, Harrier just targeted down 1 Broodlord, but he's actually going to pull out of this location with his army. He wants to fight away from the Infestors. He knows how many Infestors are up there. He knows this is not a fight he can win right now. Not with that much creep.
He drops, we didn't see this on screen, but he stopped the drop there and took down a few units. The fight is still going on.
Baneling traps hit a ton of units there. Could have been even worse.
No scan this time. YugiOh really, now he's on top of his game. He struggled earlier a lot, but this comeback is really impressive.
This is one of the best comebacks I've ever seen.
This is right now exactly the YugiOh style that we are used to. And here, he's moving in now. He's leading the charge with the Infested Terrans, trying to bait the tank fire here.
And he'll take out these tanks, dropping the Infested Terrans right on top of them. Tanks go down. Looks like he will save maybe one of them.
If so.
Well, alright.
Nice pickup.
Okay, he gets that one.
4 additional Infestors. That will increase his Infestor count to 14 once again. And I don't want to mention the creep spread again, but this is getting completely insane.
Yeah, I mean,
look at this mini map. Look at
I've never seen anything like
he actually spread the creep to the top left.
I've never seen anything like this. Well, tumors continue to spread
Those
right under the Vikings.
fungals on the
and
Vikings.
That's going to be potentially game because now he doesn't really have an answer for these Broodlords. The Queen's coming as well, and he's got so much energy he can transfuse everything here.
Ah, Harrier is dropping in supply so fast, and YugiOh now moving in maybe a little bit too premature with those, but it's already too late for Harrier to change the tides of battle. GG, this is game. YugiOh takes map number 1 after being so far behind in the early stages of the game when Harrier was able to kill 30 Harvesters.
It was an insane comeback. A great amount of patience was shown by YugiOh this game. Did not overextend himself. He was so patient. There was a lot of moments where it looked like he was hesitating, and then we saw the Mutalisks all die, and that even made things look worse for him. But he wasn't using the Mutalisks for much. He wasn't even really able to pick tanks off with them, and it allowed him to transition into Infestors.
In the last Mutalisk engagement, he tried to rely more on his ground unit, so if he wanted to free up supply, I think that he still should have used the Mutalisk in a different way, because if you just try to sneak them into your opponent's mineral line, you will at least be able to trade with a few SCVs. But the first Mutalisk engagement that he had, that was definitely not planned. He completely flew into his opponent's Marines, he attacked the Thors, and he lost so many Mutalisks there. So quite a few mistakes by YugiOh, but in the end, his mechanics and his macro style, this is something that Harrier could not keep up with. And he must be a little bit annoyed because the Talon player, he had a huge lead in this game. He must really be disappointed here.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, honestly, just with a little bit more patience, a little bit, I feel like he made the Vikings too soon. He was like, all right, you're going to switch into Broodlords just like everyone else does, and I'm expecting this, I'm just going to have the Vikings ready. But he made so many, and then he landed them and lost them all. And then from there, he lost more Vikings behind his command center.
You know, I can really see this game starting out and YugiOh being a little bit like half asleep or a little bit, I don't know, just not really on top of his game, and Slayer Seller opening the booth and just slapping him behind the back. I'm like, wake up, man. And then suddenly like, oh yeah, you're completely right.
Yeah, he might have even gone in there and gave him a massage and get him.
No, that would have put him to sleep immediately. I mean, we've experienced the Slayer Seller massages, and they are, oh my god, I could not play a game when he's